Hello, welcome to Magic with Melly. You guys are magic, and you're with Melly. Okay, this reading is all about progress, proceeding, and being protected and moving forward with peace. A lot of you recently have been going through some trouble or chaos, and maybe it's settling, maybe it's stirring up. Wherever you are in your placements, this Page of Pentacles is indicating that we're shifting into the next chapter or going on to the next page of the story. Knight of Pentacles, back of the deck energy, serves as do whatever you think is necessary to protect your energy, protect your situations, protect the people you care about around you. Spirit wants to highlight that some things are bigger than you. With the Hanged Man here after the Knight of Pentacles, is that you do need to release, just release in general, whether it's cry or letting go of an individual, letting go of objects, clearing objects. You have to be in a space of actually letting it go, is what Spirit's saying. If some things that are falling apart, let it go. Some things that are really strong and really beautiful and amazing, let it flow. So let it go, let it flow. We have Queen of Cups. So definitely, if there's any energies that are heavy in this reading, it's all about trying to let things flow. Queen of Cups is a big entity that encompasses flowing and being free with flowing and having like a good control or a good balance with it. If you see on this Queen of Cups card, her throne is by the water, so she really finds pleasure in flow. She really finds pleasure in her stability comes from flow, from being able to take nature's waves as they come, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. So let's see what's behind the Hangman. Justice. So when it comes to doing right by you, I think there has to be insight on what to do to protect your energy or what to do to protect those around you, maybe even to secure the situation more than it already is. I think that there's been, of course, rough waters, like I was saying, with the chaos and the trouble, but we're trying to smooth out those waters, or while it's settled, we're trying to see where we're even navigating ourselves to, because sometimes when we are in the course of a storm and we're on a boat, and you can imagine you're on a boat and then the storm takes you elsewhere, it kind of diverts you from your path. And just trust that the diversion, the delay, the blockages, the lessons, the experiences, everything up till now, it is what it is. All is as it should be. Everything happened for its unique or specific reasons. Page of Pentacles is like, now that all that is over, what's next? What's coming in next for me? We do have a lot of yellow, so Spirit wants to make sure that we're paying attention to our confidence, our self-esteem, our solar plexus chakra. How much are we putting things into our own control or our own hands? Solar plexus chakra is decisiveness, willpower, not only, self-esteem, but also maybe if you have any stomach issues, that could be relative up in there as well. And one issue in your solar plexus chakra can also leak onto your other chakras. So maybe if you are seeing an issue in your solar plexus, it could be stemmed from your heart chakra or your sacral chakra or root chakra being off balance. And if sometimes some events tie certain energies together. For example, your root chakra where you feel safe. Maybe if your heart chakra is affected, you won't feel safe. So sometimes your heart chakra and your root chakra are related, but sometimes they're not related. Sometimes you can feel really safe in a place where your heart chakra doesn't feel 100%. So again, balancing and rebalancing certain energies, I think where your heart space could be affected, maybe you neglect your heart space because you need to focus on your stability, your finances, or something else, and then like you find yourself at some sort of divide. And I think here where we're at now, wherever you are at, if you are at a divide, if you are removing yourself from chaos, if you're in the middle of chaos, wherever you are at on your journey, I'm here for you. We're going to channel what's coming in next and what we're meant to do to proceed with caution, to proceed with care, to proceed in peace, really, because I don't think we really want to be having this chaos consistently anymore. I think we're just exhausted and tired of our own shit. Really just exhausted and tired of our own shit. We want to come home to safety. And that comes with this newfound commitment with yourself. I love seeing all this. This Three of Cups, don't worry too much about the Three of Cups. We've talked about our third parties in previous. We're focusing on you. We're focusing on you and the things that you want. Whether you have them already or don't, that's irrelevant. We're going to manage how we're handling, what we already have and how to bring in more and how to keep it protected and peaceful as much as possible. Of course, the will power others, like what others use their intentions and their actions for, you're not in control of. So sometimes the chaos is brought in by another, literally intentionally, because they don't like something about you or something about your life. They want to destroy it because they don't like it. Why they don't like it? It could be a jealous reason. It could just be that they just don't like it. It could be something you did to them. And it's a chain reaction of, I don't like you because you don't like me. And like, this didn't have to be this way. I'm hearing for some, those posts where it's like, this could be us, but you tripping, like all of those like relationship memes or those connection memes where it's like, this could be us, but you're like out here doing what, So I think this is sort of this energy here where we need to channel out the shit energy, the shit that's not serving us, the shit that keeps us stagnant, the shit that keeps us confused and contemplating. And we're like releasing that, right? And being more committed to our journey and more committed to the things that we're creating in our life, rather than worrying about committing to another person or committing to another job or a situation. Right now, Spirit wants to highlight, commit to your ideas and goals and whatever struggle you're experiencing in this time and space, this Eight of Swords energy. It will be cleared when any addictive behaviors or even just cycles that don't work, if you clear those cycles out, really be decided on one thing or a top 3 or a top 5 of things, and zero in on those things and clear out anything that would oppose that. So for example, if you want one person or 2 people, or for example, in a romantic setting, if you want 1 or 2 people, I'm not going to outlaw any polyamorous people or anything like that, or even be specific with genders. But say you want 1 person, we're gonna make it 1 or 2 people. What you need to do is then focus on them and like figure out what they like, what they dislike, but then apply it, apply what you know about them honestly and lovingly. And when I say honestly, it's like not to withhold information, not to apply an energy that isn't true of yourself. So for example, if you want to be with them, if there's another person in the middle of it, don't let them be in the middle of it. Make sure your connection with that person continues to be directly between you and that person, and any action that you do yourself is a response to that person directly and not a response to a third party. Because we did see that Three of Cups. We have been having trouble with a Queen of Swords in recent readings. So it's like really the choice is yours of how much attention you're putting onto things. How much attention are you putting onto your person of focus versus the third party that is focusing on like being in the middle. That could be a message for you guys, like, because a lot of sabotage or struggle can come from something that's in the middle, right? And so if you just eliminate how much is in the middle when it comes to communication, when it comes to action, when it comes to anything revolving what's important to you, just make sure there's more of a direct line and less of a chain reaction of things. Because, yeah, let's get rid of that Queen of Swords. Because you're the Queen of Cups. And we just, no more getting in the way. We want you to be the highlight here. Some of these people who have been shitting on you or shitting on your goals and ideas, they literally need to be eating the shit out of your hands. You know, the shit that they're giving to you, you need to feed it back to them in your hands. Essentially like what this card is showing. Because if you have the Knight of Wands, you will move very quickly and very easily just by having a very strong, decided energy. That's why that's why you're seeing so much yellow repeatedly, is because Spirit's like, make sure you feel good enough about your decisions, period. Make sure you feel good about yourself, period. That way, when you leave things behind that aren't good for you, you're strong enough that when they're like, oh, I didn't mean to, like they're feeling sorry, now that they're losing their Queen of Cups, this amazing individual that's got it going on, that can go with the flow, that can change things as needed, that will bring in abundance. Like, flow is amazing when you know how to navigate it. And I think that for the most part you guys do, but then it's just like there's this like chaos energy that randomly gets in the way, and you're like, well, what the fuck, like what? And a part of it is we are human and we choose both good and bad things, so the universe will reflect that your choices back. But as well, like that is your own personal choices, your own personal karma gets shown to you. But then you can also have karma leakage. There's probably better terminology for this, but it's like someone else's energy leaking onto you, or someone else's situationship or occurrence or like event or whatever. Like, just because you're around them, you get drawn into whatever's occurring around them. Maybe you place yourself in their danger or in their situation. Maybe they place themselves conveniently in your place because they could take something from you, or like with extreme good, extreme bad, or even good bad, there's some sort of interesting exchange when two opposites meet. It's like it either neutralizes or one comes out feeling differently than they did before. And maybe that's your message of like noticing the difference, noticing who's like you, who's not like you, who's meant to be a part of this next journey and who's not. And again, it doesn't have to be like an ultimatum, an all or nothing or anything like that, but so much more to say that you need to protect the certain parts of yourself around certain parts of other people, or certain people, like certain, or just protect certain things. Just protect. Wow, this 10 of Swords. But you guys will be successful if you take the daggers out, you know, because I don't want to stay on that Ten of Swords energy. I think you guys are aware of it and out of it, or trying to be out of it. For the Spirit saying, a lot of you are very, very, very aware of the backstabbers. But it's like, what do we do to be safe from that continuing forward? I think in previous messages, it's like I had mentioned, like, when the bad knows that you know it's bad, it kind of gives them all reign. It kind of just brings down the filter of, I have to pretend to be good. Now they don't have to pretend to be anything but what they are. And it's like, if they're a bad person, they're going to then really show you that once they find that they've been revealed, if that makes sense. So just be mindful of who you're really working with, like, 'cause sometimes you don't know until you know. So just whatever your psyche, your intuition is telling you is a possibility that could happen, believe it's a possibility. Do not underestimate your own intuition or your own common sense or like way of processing something. You are receiving it for a reason, and what you do of it is your responsibility. Is it the truth? Is it a manifestation? Is it an almost manifestation? Is it even your manifestation? Sometimes energies are manifested on you and aren't of your doing. Like, someone could be sending you an evil eye, or someone could be sending okay, last week I heard, I hope she gets fat, like, repeatedly. And I don't know who was sending me that, but I kept hearing that. Like, it maybe lasted 1 or 2 meals, and then I cleared, where like it would just randomly place itself. And I just saged up, protected up, cleared up my crystals, did my rituals, but I sensed that someone was sending me energy where their intent was they wanted me to be like, have an issue with my weight. And it's like, why send that to someone? Like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And so I just, instead of sending it back, I'm aware that that's not a healthy energy to even send back. And so I just was like, okay, I take it. I only send it back if the person deserves it, really. But it's not something that I really wish to carry around. So I did, rather than try and always send it back to sender, I realized like the types of energies can be transmuted, or it could be sent back, or you could just, remove it altogether, right? And then it just dissolves to where it goes. Instead of being like, return it to sender, maybe the sender didn't even deserve it or mean to do it on purpose, right? So it's like, try, and when you have funky energies, like, why am I receiving this? Do I deserve this? Does the person deserve it back? How can I love myself through this? How can I love the person who's interacting with me in this way? How can I love them so that they are not continuing that cycle? I think the cycle continues if we just leave people to, like, there's a balance between like knowing when to help someone and when not to help someone. Like, you shouldn't help someone just because you want to. You're always going to want to if you're that type of person. Sometimes it's a matter of waiting until the person is ready for the help that you're willing to offer. Because you don't want to create like a laziness with personal lessons. So that could be a little bit of my toxic trait, was where I help people before they even realize they want or need help. And then it gets like rejected, or they don't even see what I'd been telling them the whole time, until like I'm hurting myself because I told them lessons that they didn't see or want. So I hope that is clear for some that operate in that energy from time to time. I'm definitely strengthening of waiting for the person who needs help to even realize their situation or realize themselves. it could be vice versa. Maybe it's you that has been told the same lessons over and over, and there's something you need to realize about yourself. Whatever it may be, this reading is meant to help open up your heart chakra space and open up, period. I think a lot of our struggle is with vulnerability and openness to accepting something the way it is, and instead of having like rose-colored glasses or even practicing this staying safe. It's like you're always safe. Your existence, your being is always going to be safe and protected. How do I draw more on that? Like, if you feel like making a decision against a person or against a career or against like a group, or like just because like you don't fit. If you don't fit somewhere, you don't fit. It's so that you can find your new place to fit. This next chapter or the next story in your life. And the other reading, it was saying that some people just can't come along, that if they come along, that it would just destroy or sabotage it anyway. It would be a waste of time to bring some of these people or objects into your next space. That these things or people create delays. It could be as subtle as an object that an ex gave you, an ex-friend, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-parent, ex-sibling, like somebody who's not in your life anymore, or they, but you still have the object, and maybe it holds significance or importance to the connection. If you still have that object, there's experiences that are infused into that item that when you look at it, it just triggers your memories. It triggers the idea or the past event or whatever. So long as that object is in your space, that energy is in your space. That story, that whatever is in your space. So when you are in your room thinking and you don't want to think about this person anymore, why do you still have the objects around that make you think of that person, right? Like just think, like just go to like even the nitty-gritty details on things. Like if you really say you don't want anything to do with someone, well, does the proof show for it? Are they on your social media? Is their family on social media? Are you still friends with their friends? Are you still associated with them? And as much as we can compartmentalize and even meet people on an individual level, like, yeah, that person was my ex, and that's my ex's friend, or that's my ex's mom, or that's my ex's something, right? It's like maybe they had nothing to do with the heartbreak. Maybe your ex's fill in the blank never broke your heart. They never did shit to you, but it's like they are still associated to that person, and you're claiming, some of you are claiming to not want anything to do with your ex or not want anything to do with so-and-so and so-and-so. It's like, why then are you still connected with their friends, these objects? Why are you still talking about them? Why are you still having memories about them? And it's like, there's nothing wrong. Like, no one's holding judgment. Like, they're like, you can carry your life and carry your situations however you want, but some of these things hold you back. They bring you into some dark energies, or bring you back to certain energies, bring you back to certain memories, and it's not healthy to have these things remain. Whatever your psychic is telling you in this reading, it could be literally anything. Maybe you need to be dropping off things at Goodwill, or finding other donation locations, selling your items. If you need to make money, sell your items. If you can't or don't, if you're afraid of, what are you afraid of? State that. Actually state what you're afraid of, and then speak words louder than the fear. Be reasonable of like, okay, well, that's a reasonable, that's reasonable to be afraid, but then there's even more reasons to not be afraid once you kind of sit back and analyze it in that way. So I have some oracles just to get out more validating messages, and we'll see about tarot and time. So first messages out are going to be archetype cards. So if you guys are seeing yourself in the archetype cards or seeing your person in the archetype cards, it's definitely more validation that the messages are for you. But I also have angel numbers, so numbers to look out for. Messages of love, like lessons in love, what things to surrender in your situations. I have abundance cards, self-care cards, and numbers and alphabet cards. So just some validating messages here of what to look out for in your proceedings, whether it's angel numbers or like an initial types of keywords, messages to hang on to. However you want to take them, take them. If they benefit you, let it benefit you. If it's taking away from you, make sure to release that it's not, release it. Make sure not to apply something negatively to your life if you don't want it. Okay, so first card is child, orphan. The light attribute says independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. The dark attribute is feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So you may not have felt very comfortable in your family space, whether or not you actually were orphaned, whether or not your parents actually have died in this lifetime, or maybe they just abandoned you in this lifetime, whether or not they were always in your presence or not. Abandonment can be seen or felt in layers of ways. They don't have to be dead or not present or, whatever unique detail in your story. It's all about feeling abandoned by parent. Like when you needed a parent, the energy wasn't there. The mature energy to teach you wasn't there. And this is probably just the highlight from spirit. If you are that, that's your message. But you could also be dealing with someone who's been orphaned or has this situation. If it's not you, then it's your person. But it could also be a matter of you dealt with a thief or an addict or a beggar. It doesn't have to be you. It could be your person. It could be your person dealt with that in the past. It could be a karmic. Just these messages are meant to be validating, not taking away from you. Thief, light attribute, sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. So that's a positive message for you guys, that whatever has been taken from you, it cannot take what's inside of you, really, like the experience and what you learned from it, that can never be taken from you. So you could be placed in the same thing again and again and again, or even a different thing. You're always going to have you inside of you, even if material objects change, even if outside situationships change. You will always be you. You will always be able to take in love and your lessons. So remember that during this time and space, especially if you're dealing with someone who takes from you a lot. They can't take away your power. They really can't take away your power. As much as it feels like you're powerless, or as much as it feels like you can't do anything, or that they've taken so much from you, they really haven't, because you're still inside your body. Your soul is still in there, and the ability to rebuild strength inside of you, and the ability to rebuild your power inside of you, that you are capable of. It's a matter of self-realizing and then reapplying with that power and love that you build. Stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. So the only way to really be winning, though, in this energy of like people can't steal what's inside of you, is that you can't be bringing on thief energy onto someone else to ignite your light. You have to have it in inauthenticity and honesty. Because if you do not have an authentic light or authentic energy, you're only going to be trying to take from other people who have the energy or the thing that you want. You have to find that with yourself, and then you can join those that you are trying to take from. So maybe you need to see yourself as a thief if you haven't seen yourself as a thief. Maybe you, like, because this is for some that are dealing with a lot of lack energy. This is the stealing or other powers you think you lack. So it's like, if you think you lack something, then you try and destroy something that has what you want rather than being there. Because I think this is an addictive energy for some, especially with the addict card there. And then we have beggar. The addict card says, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. It compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So I was just talking about like authenticity. So it's like you get addicted to taking down people who have what you want rather than just going and getting what you want. If that makes sense. Like that's such a, I get it though. Like I'm not, no one's judging you. It's like, it's just what happens when you're in a lower vibrational frequency and aren't even aware of it, and not even aware that you're like projecting and releasing your energy in that way. But with beggar, this card says confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. The shadow attribute says dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. So again, this is like going hand in hand with the addict and beggar. Is like you guys really desperately want certain energies, so much that when you're around the energy, you soak it up, and you soak it up so much that you then are taking from them in a way. Like it's like it starts small, and then it might become an obsession. It might even become a habit or behavior, and then all of a sudden you're taking, and it's addicting because it feels good, because it feels like it's your energy, but it's really the other person or the other individual's energy. And you're like, well, then when you're separate, you're like, you felt really abundant in the connection, and then maybe in the separation you feel you're lacking because the abundance was with them. They had it figured out, but you didn't have it figured out. Or your parent had it figured out and you've been leeching on them. There's just an interesting energy of like, there's a lot of taking here and a lot of addiction to receiving and not knowing how to give effort or not knowing how to give to the situation. And that's all right. We have servant, we have student, we have shapeshifter. It says light attribute, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Servant. So, because the light attribute and the shadow attributes could be, they could show you so much, because you could be both. We have student, light attributes, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. Shadow attributes, arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. And shapeshifter, light attributes, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see potential in everything, projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. So, with the takers that are being channeled in the reading, all right, we have the takers that will just transform any conversation, any action to be what they think the situation wants or what they think you want. Or, you know, so some of you are dealing with gaslighters, manipulators, people who intentionally sabotage. Like we have this shapeshifter, so it's like they're gonna be only shape-shifting according to their motives. Or if you are in healthy flow, it's going to be shape-shifting. You are shape-shifting in a healthy way in order for you to proceed. Excuse me. It's all in learning where you're at. Are you in a excuse me, because every character type, every type of human, every individual, there's gonna be goods and bads about them. A student can both learn and be open to learning, and then also be closed off to learning. based off of alignment, really. I'm getting a throat chakra blockage, you guys, suddenly. So, alignment, big thing with the archetypes, yo. We have mother. You could be dealing with a mother, prince, hermit, and vampire. I hear energy vampire, and it could be the prince in your life or the mother in your life or whoever is a hermit, or in like there's a highlight from spirit saying it could be good to be introspective rather than rather than being introverted, be introspective. Go inside to understand rather than going inside to avoid, if that makes sense. I feel like introvert can be like, you don't want to socialize with others, so you avoid others. But introspective is like, you want to be around others, but you need to find something about yourself that is making it hard to be around others, or finding something that would make it easier to be around others. But there's a big time emphasis from spirit seeing that the student, prince, mother, orphan, hermit, energy vampire in your life, that there has to be boundary with whoever that person is that either can't come along in your journey, or that they just have to be at a distance in your journey. 111, it's 1111. The universe is arranging people and experiences on your path to help you succeed and helping you wake up to who you truly are. I am awakening. 333, you are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, assisting all of humanity. Live your truths and be a positive light to others. I am powerful. 66666. I am positive. Excuse me. I am positive. I am centered. I am disciplined. 31. Your guardian angel is teaching you the essence of unconditional love. You are encouraged to have faith that the universe will provide for you while you are manifesting your inner desires. I am centered. A wake-up call for you to re-examine your current situation and change the direction of your thoughts so you can rise your vibration to a more positive frequency. And your approach to life is an effective mix of both practicality and imagination. Your mind is stirring with creative ideas, and you have the organizational skills to manifest them to life. I am disciplined. So I love seeing the repeat in 1s, 3s, 6s. So those are numbers definitely for you guys to look out for in this time. So 111, 333, 666, any of those combinations of numbers, even if you see 131, 161, 136, 631, any arrangements of 1s, 3s, and 6s could be significant for you. So I wouldn't doubt it. If you want to look into it, by all means. If you want to look more into keywords such as being awakened or being more powerful, being more positive, centered, or disciplined, you can look into that as well. I welcome you guys to do all the self-healing you guys feel is needed. But the big message with that spread is just knowing that you are powerful and positive and centered enough to move forward with the guidance that you are receiving. That there is something in you that wants to come out, that wants to be revealed, that wants to have you start a project on, whatever, you just need to have your focus here with yourself and what you truly want, and actually reveal it and express it and do it. And knowing that you'll be protected, that the universe is looking to take care of you on this endeavor, that the universe has been waiting for you to even want this endeavor for yourself. So, big time Queen of Cups is like the universe has it's always been yours. It's just a matter of the universe has been waiting for you to want it too. So, commitment, again, with wanting it, you have to want it. You dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the essence of your very being. Freedom. You are releasing any self-imposed restrictions or perceived limitations through the loving energies of openness. So being free to commit yourself however you want to commit yourself. If you want to consistently practice something, who's stopping you other than you? Practice. Start your practice today. And then if you practice again tomorrow, awesome. And then practice again the next day. Take a break if you need to. Then come back again to your practice. Then if you take a break and then you never come back, try a different practice. Be free to see what you want to see and experience it as far as you want to experience it. No matter what, you see the bigger picture of a loving, just universe. That experiencing it will just show you whether you want it or not. And if you don't want it, release it. If you do want it, keep at it. Cause and effect. You are aware that the love you create in your thoughts is an agent of change and the foundation of your results. So again, a positive mindset means a positive result. A negative mindset means a negative result. Anything in between is going to give you anything in between. It's going to be like if you're wishy-washy, your manifestations will be wishy-washy. So creativity, you love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. Surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. Some of you have been playing it small with your creativity. You maybe diminish your work by saying, well, no one will pay for this. Is like, if no one has, it's kind of like you never let them. And it's like when you don't let them, then you're going to continue in that cycle. So again, don't play it small. Actually believe that people can pay you for your work, pay you for your creativity, pay you for your artistry, pay you for whatever you want to do. And it doesn't have to be paying you for things. It could just be being successful in putting yourself in or out of situations. Being creative about your ideas. How can I be more this? How can I be less this? How can I be in that situation? How can I be out of this situation? How did I get in this situation in the first place? Asking all these things because you had the power to place yourself where you are right now, right? You're dealing with maybe a lying ass motherfucker. You might be dealing with a cheating ass motherfucker. You might be dealing with both. You might be dealing with something amazing. Okay, you could be dealing with something awful at the same time. You could be dealing with anything in between amazing and awful, but you have the power. You had the power to bring that forward, so you also have the power to remove it as well, and you have the power of bringing in more and bringing in less. So surrender to that notion with yourself that whatever you're seeing someone else manifesting, you can manifest that too. There's some outdated beliefs about just in general. Surrender to wonder and awe, surrender to fear of intimacy, surrender outdated beliefs about self. The surrender outdated beliefs with self is high key giving me past life regression therapy for some, understanding your past life or lives. You could get a card reading from me on that if you wish for that, or even just understanding where your soul's been or where you've been like in this lifetime. Maybe you have always thought of yourself one way, so you maybe need to reframe some outdated ways that you had been viewing yourself. This says let go of limiting ideas about self that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Sometimes it's within this lifetime, but some beliefs could be tied to your soul from past lifetimes. Such would be like in other eras, it was highly shunned upon for certain practices or certain concepts to prevail. And so if your soul hangs on to it without and it doesn't make sense in this lifetime why you would be so reserved or why you would behave in a certain way. Maybe you need a release or have a past life regression therapy happen for you, or a card reading with past life or life purpose card reading. But take that if you have been like guided towards it. If not, then maybe you could be interested in it later, or it could be for you later. But surrender your fear of intimacy. This thing with fear of intimacy causes a lot of problems in connections, period. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. So this fear of intimacy, it could be stemmed from a childhood thing. It could be stemmed from a relationship, like a really long-term relationship falling apart, or even just something really traumatic happening in an intimate connection, whether it's a best friend or a lover or a family connection. Something that's really intimate is like you know them on a deep level, on a very, very, very deep level. And when you're harmed or hurt on a deep level, you could get really afraid of being hurt again. And that being afraid of being hurt again just stops you in general from loving. You need to heal, and you need to surrender fear. Heal and surrender fear around being intimate, because it's like you need to be intimate with yourself, for one. Get to really know the deep hurt. Heal that deep hurt within you, and it will really expand how intimate you can be with another. And the surrender to wonder and awe. Open the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. So big time Queen of Cups and flow, right? That's a key word in this reading, is flow. And so we definitely want to be in ecstasy. That sounds lovely, right? Ecstasy in, maybe sex or love or flow, abundance, whatever it is. Just live your life wonderfully. Like, actually wonder and like make it feel like a daydream, or like a dream come true kind of a thing. Like when you see, like, just like have an attitude of life of like, I woke up and I want this. Like, I wanted this and I'm inspired, like take something and have inspiration behind it. Maybe it could be like wondering what could happen if you go to a new place, right? Maybe like, how does it link back to my home life or my spirit? Like, what things am I seeing that could be a synchronicity, right? Maybe if you follow the 1s, 3s, and 6s, you'll find yourself, whoa, like in a mystery, and it's like the good kind, right? Not like a murder mystery or anything, like, it's like a good kind. We have grounded, we have liberation reverse, we have trust reverse, we have self-love. The cards say, many of the most evolved beings on earth are regular folks living with joy, dignity, and courage. Liberation and trust upside down. It says, the doubts and fears still come up. You don't believe anymore that they're you. Trust. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings, trusting you to know exactly how to handle them. So right now, heavy emphasis on just staying grounded, that even though there's a lot being stirred up and a lot of chaos, find yourself in the middle of it. Maybe you do find yourself in the middle of it, or maybe you need to center yourself and trust the universe. Pray and say what you do want next. With this Page of Pentacles, there is an idea or a chapter or a page that you're trying to be, like you're trying to be on the same page with someone or many people, or even see like the next chapter and who's coming along, right? And so with this, it's like, what the next chapter may look like, or even like you may even be able to spell it out or like envision it to some degree. But it's like the visualization is there to a point. How vivid, how detailed, how drawn out this vision is for you, whatever, okay? Send it to the universe, send it to your angels, and be like, I trust you with my intention to move towards this. Fill in the blank that I want. Hold space, hold space for the universe to give. Don't do anything. Don't give out any more energy than you already have. I think Spirit wants to say you've done enough. You've done enough. Stay clear, stay centered, and pray or send your manifestation out to the universe and trust and hold space for it to come back. Right? If you love something or want something, let it go. If it's meant for you, it will come back. So just have that space for it to let it go and come back. It'll come back if it's for you. If it's not for you, the connection, the situation, whatever it is, it will dissolve itself. It will, it just won't be a problem no more. But let the problems solve themselves. I think there's been a lot of attempts on solving the situation for yourself. As no, the universe wants to solve it for you. You have done so much. You've done all that you can. You've even learned all the lessons that you can. And it's now it's time for the ripple or the reflection or now it's time for the other half of the lessons. The connections that didn't learn their part, that need to detach and have their space to grow and, figure that part out. If you figured out everything that you could about the situation and now you need to release, boo-boo, you release. Self-love, let yourself release, let yourself be further away. If you learn your lessons and these people are yet to learn the lessons, don't let their karma leak onto you. Take care of yourself in the meantime. Take care to be away from toxic while people are still trying to figure their shit out. If you figured your shit out, trust that if you're needing to clear and you need help clearing, that the universe will clear it for you and that you've done all that is needed to be done. This card says, let the wall fall that separates me from my own vulnerable inner child. I long to take care of myself like never before. So taking care of yourself could be really unique looking. For most people, it's going back to your inner child and going back to basics. Because when we think of taking care of children, we immediately think of food. We think of toys, water. That's just very nurturing energy. How can the kid have fun and how can the kid live? Food, water, hygiene, and fun. Leave it at basics, but then you can expand on those little details too. This card says, look for fairies, 30. So some of you are really resonating with fairies. Clean your space. Some of you have, a really cluttered mind. And that comes from having a cluttered space. So if you want to clear up your mind, you maybe need to clean up your space. Or vice versa. Watch a movie. Maybe put on some Disney movies or cartoon movies. Movies that you haven't seen since you were a kid. Maybe you'll find a message there. Movement, 36. So 30 and 9 and 54 and 36. We have sweet treat. We have the letter D or dog for significance. You could be dealing with someone who's 51 or maybe there's a newborn because there's a number 1, or maybe this is your first year experiencing everything, or your mother or father figure is 51 or were born in 1951. However those numbers resonate. We have an 82, so you could be dealing with someone who's born in 1982 or someone who is 32. Take that however it resonates. We have a letter A or alligator, so the letters D or A, they could start with that or have that letter somewhere in their name. We have another A for apple, so maybe a favorite fruit is an apple, or your person likes fruit, or you like fruit. Maybe you're dealing with someone who's 29 or someone was born in 1979, or they are 79. They could, I don't know how old my collective is, so they could be any age. Ostrich, maybe some of you are dealing with something that feels kind of like a stretch, because when I think of ostrich, I think of stretch, but I also think of like some very misunderstood animals with ostrich, misunderstood birds, or even like a bird that's like looked at as lesser, misunderstood. Valentine, maybe Valentine's Day is very significant to the connection. Maybe Valentine's Day is what started the connection, or that Valentine's Day could be a significant time coming up for the situation, the next one coming, or I don't know, there's just a significance with the letter or Valentine. We have umbrella or the letter U. We have cat or the letter C. We have the letter L or lamp, turning the light on or turning your person on. And we have yak, as in maybe yik yak. Someone is anonymous, or someone wants to throw up because they feel so sick around you, or they feel sick in general because there's a lot of just unhealthy people. There's a lot of different things that could resonate there. If there's more to the synchronicities, you could let me know. If you see more than what I'm seeing, you could also let me know. These readings are meant to be a combination of my intuition and yours, and being able to help for the benefit of all. But on the ending of the reading, I'm going to say the Six of Wands looks really lovely on you guys. And I'm going to just shuffle out and see an update on how the collective took this reading, and maybe lasting messages of advice for the collective before I go. Let's see what lasting messages the collective needs to experience. Okay. So we have this Justice card reverse, but we have the Ten of Pentacles, ooh, and King of Wands. And then flipped in the middle of the deck is Eight of Wands, Four of Wands reverse, Magician, Two of Wands, Seven of Swords, Ten of Wands, the Hermit, Five of Wands. There's so much that you guys, there's so much here. Oh my goodness. Okay. You need to protect your energy in going forward, because there's going to be there's going to be a lot to process, you guys. And I can't channel it all because some of it's hidden from you for a reason. Like the what to do in the aftermath. Some of it's hidden from you for a reason, because you're always meant to have your gift or your blessings from source. But this Justice card and the Seven of Swords is heavily giving me, you need to learn what to walk away from in order for everything to peace out, essentially. You need to see that for yourself. You need to see what is too heavy, what is like, you need to see this energy for yourself, what's strong and what's not strong enough, what's good and what's not good enough. You need to see this for yourself. And you could do that when you come into Hermit energy for some time. Don't stay there forever. We're individuals of connection. So once you're sort of out of this resistance energy with your intuition, you'll be able to be more successful with your manifestations, because this Four of Wands reverse is really showing me that your manifestations didn't show through because the situation's just not ready yet. You haven't dissolved bad connections. You haven't strengthened your good connections. You didn't really reveal your journey or your situation or anything to yourself yet, or to the situation. Like, there's more that needs to be shown before the journey can start, is what I'm hearing. But in the meantime, just protect your energy. Big time protect your energy, because you don't know who's out for you, who's not, who's with you, who's not, and why. There's a ton of people who are just pretending out here, and maybe maybe they're matching you, pretending to still be something you're not, right? We have that release attachment to like old beliefs, past beliefs of yourself, limiting beliefs of yourself. So it's like maybe you're not the same person you used to be. So therefore the friends that you have don't really match you anymore. And like maybe not all of them did or do that. And you have to kind of restructure the connections in your life, the career, like who you deem family, if you even want a family. You need to like really decide these bigger things for yourself so that your mental health and your well-being can perform with sustainability. I think the issue with how we've been proceeding is with like it's just choosing things that don't sustain. It's like weak. So really banish the things that aren't strong enough or aren't good enough for you. Like you're allowed to pass judgment like that for yourself, but not for somebody else. Okay, so that was your messages. If they were found to be useful for you, definitely like, share, comment, or subscribe. You guys are always magic, and here I am sharing more of mine. This was Magic with Melly. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, goodbye.